Welcome to the Ubermall tutorial for Wipeout HD. Ubermall is for the most part a relatively straightforward track. However, there are a number of tricky chicanes in here, and one of them could be considered the most difficult corner series in the game. There's also an opportunity for two shortcuts, one of which requires a turbo. So let's start by taking a look at the track on Venom class. And now let's look at the whole track step by step. The track starts by gently bending into a right-left chicane. It's very easy to trace a straight line straight through this chicane, however if you want to be sure, a light tap of each air brake will guide you through adequately. Do exit on the left-hand side though to prepare yourself for the first corner. The first two corners are reasonably shallow right-handers. Nothing special about them, a quick tap of the right air brake is all you're going to need. If you want to hit a weapon pad in the second corner, you need to take a wide line through it. However, that's the easy way of doing things. If you're a little more daring, you can cut off the first right-hander entirely. You may have noticed that before the first right-hander there were two speed pads. The one on the right was slightly further back than the one on the left. If you aim for the one on the right, pull the nose up and aim over to the right, you're able to jump the track and cut the corner entirely. The speed pad and the nose up are absolutely vital. If you mess either one of them up, you're going to fall short and you're going to end up respawning. You also need to get the angle of your jump right. Too far over to the right and you're going to fall short of the track. Too far over to the left and you'll clatter into a pillar. And as you're in the air as you jump the corner, you may as well pull off a barrel roll as well. Do be ready with the right air brake though on landing to pull yourself back in line with the track. It's quite a risky manoeuvre, but once you get used to it, it's definitely worth doing. The track briefly splits up ahead. Both paths are pretty much mirror images of each other and there's no advantage to taking one over the other. It's simply a matter of preference. I prefer to take the right hand path. If you do want to go left, the instructions are the same, simply reverse them. The path I'm going to take here consists of a shallow right, followed by two shallow lefts, and then finally another shallow right. Halfway through the corner complex there's a speed pad on the right hand side, and there will be a weapon pad on the left. Light air brake taps are all that's going to be needed to get through here. When it comes to two left-handers, swing wide if you want to take a speed pad, and take it tight if you want to hit a weapon pad. If you do go left however, always swing wide, as the speed pad and weapon pad are in line with each other. From here on, the track becomes considerably more complex. Waiting for you over this peak is a relatively sharp right-left-right chicane. And if you want to get a good time on this track, you need to barrel roll through it. So, as you go over this peak, initiate your barrel roll and move over to the left-hand side of the track. You should see a speed pad waiting over to the right apex of the first corner. Before you land, you need to use the right air brake to turn your craft to face this speed pad. When you hit the speed pad, hit the left air brake and move the craft over to the left apex. The craft's momentum will pull you through the corner. Once you're as close to the apex as you're going to get, immediately use the right air brake to pull the craft through the final right-hander. If you approach it like this, you'll gain a lot of height going through this corner series and you can barrel roll on the exit. Now if you have a turbo, you can skip the chicane entirely. As you go over the peak, turn the craft slightly over to the right. Once in the air, you should see a large black pole with some plants on it. You need to be aiming slightly to the right of this pole, and you also need to be beneath the archway in the distance. Once you've aimed your craft in this direction, hit the turbo and it will carry you straight over the chicane. And then while you're in the air, trigger a barrel roll. You should find yourself landing in the final right-hander in the chicane series, so use the right air brake to bring the craft back in line with the track. The double speed pads you see here lead you into what may be the most difficult corner series in the game. The right-hander ahead will suddenly tighten and then lead you into a very sharp left-hander. To take this corner cleanly, you need to have a near perfect approach and you need to be very aggressive with your air brakes. After going over the double speed pads, stay as far as you can over to the left-hand side and use the right air brake to edge the craft through the corner. When you see the apex of the sharpened right-hander, slam on the right air brake and guide the craft into the corner. Once the craft is in line with the midsection of the track, immediately switch to the left air brake and let the momentum carry you through this next corner. When the craft clears the left apex, use the left side shift to pull away from the right wall. If you feel the craft sliding too far over to the right, briefly lift off the thrust to regain control. And then finally, on exit, use the right air brake to pull yourself the light right hand to finish the lap. Let's take one more look at this corner series. Pay close attention to where the air brakes are used and also where the craft side shifts on exit. And from there on, it's a straight run to the end of the lap. The peak you see in front of you will actually give you enough height to barrel roll if you pull the nose up as you go over it. However, I tend to find that the speed you gain from the boost is offset by the speed that you lose from pulling the nose up. It may be worth trying in a time trial or speed lap, but not really worth it in a race. If you have a turbo when you reach this point, this is a very clear opportunity for one last barrel roll. However, it's very possible to gain an awful lot of height here, so you want to keep the nose down as you go over the peak. And now finally, let's see the whole lap done at full speed. Thanks very much for watching and good luck with the game.